Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a political development that has sparked some heated debate across South Africa. The African Transformation Movement's leader, Vuyo Zungula, has called on President Cyril Ramaphosa to take action following remarks made by Patriotic Alliance leader, McKenzie, which have been described as racially divisive. Please stay with me until the end so you can hear the sources of this news and verify it for yourself. Now, to give you some context. McKenzie, the current Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture and also the leader of the Patriotic Alliance, has been making headlines not just for his strong political views but also for comments that many say could fuel racial tensions in our country. These remarks, according to Zungula, undermine the principles of unity and reconciliation that South Africa has worked so hard to build since the dawn of democracy in 1994. Zungula has been very clear in his position. He says that South Africa cannot afford to have leaders who use their platforms to divide people along racial lines. For him, leadership means finding ways to bring people together, not pulling them further apart. He believes that when someone in a position of power makes reckless statements about race, it has real consequences on ordinary South Africans who are already struggling with poverty, unemployment, crime, and social inequality. Many South Africans share these concerns. In communities where resources are scarce and tensions already run high, words can quickly turn into action. People are worried that statements like those made by McKenzie could embolden some groups while alienating others, creating a dangerous environment where people no longer see themselves as fellow South Africans but as competitors for survival. And in a country with our history, that's not something to take lightly. Zungula has therefore urged President Ramaphosa to intervene. He wants the president to publicly address McKenzie's comments, not only to protect the image of government leadership but also to reassure South Africans that such divisive language will not be tolerated. In Zungula's view, the president has a responsibility to set the tone and make it clear that South Africa's leaders must stand for unity, inclusivity, and progress for all. But here's the thing, South Africans are divided on this issue. Some believe McKenzie is simply speaking his mind and raising issues that others are too afraid to talk about. They argue that political correctness has silenced important debates, and McKenzie's straightforward style is a refreshing change. Others, however, see his remarks as reckless, inflammatory, and dangerous, especially at a time when South Africa desperately needs social cohesion. It also raises a deeper question about accountability in our politics. Should leaders be allowed to say whatever they like under the protection of free speech? Or should there be stricter standards for those in public office, especially when their words carry so much weight? These are not easy questions, but they are important ones for a country that still carries the scars of racial division. Another point Zungula makes is that South Africa is facing far too many pressing challenges to be distracted by racially charged rhetoric. Load shedding, corruption, collapsing infrastructure, joblessness, these are issues that affect everyone, regardless of race. He believes that leaders should focus their energy on solving these real problems instead of stirring up divisions that only make life harder for ordinary citizens. This whole situation also highlights how fragile our democracy still is. Nearly 3 decades into freedom, we are still wrestling with identity, race, and inequality. Leaders like Zungula are essentially reminding us that if we are not careful, careless words can undo years of hard work toward reconciliation. And whether you agree with him or not, it's hard to deny that our country cannot afford more conflict when so many families are already battling just to put food on the table. So, what happens next? That will depend largely on whether President Ramaphosa chooses to respond. Will he publicly condemn McKenzie's comments, or will he remain silent to avoid fueling political tensions further? For now, all eyes are on the presidency to see whether unity will be prioritized over political convenience. Before we close, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss updates like this. Also, keep listening until the end of each video so you can see the sources and verify the news for yourself. All images used in this video are for illustration purposes only. Sources of this news include SABC News, Times Live, News 24, and Daily Maverick. Now, over to you. Do you think political leaders should face consequences for racially divisive remarks, or is it just part of free speech in a democracy?